how do you go from tickets to copy trading? That's quite an evolution. I like the fact that you didn't just stay with the tickets, because there are Web3 plays that solely focus kind of on the ticket experience and competing with other ticket people. Yeah, how did you open up the aperture and say, okay, we can make this so much bigger?
Yeah, so I mean, the way I see it is that I've always seen our platform as just like a consumer empire. I don't really see ticketing as our end goal whatsoever. I'm sure a kind of maybe guest knows, like when you do a startup, obviously you start with like a small niche, you kind of try to solve that, and then you expand out. For us, I mean, we solved that ticketing need. I mean, we've dominated the ticketing space, and we realize where our value really lies. It's not in, okay, selling tickets. Like, yes, we do that and we make kind of quite a bit of revenue from that. But actually we realize where our value lies is in our user base, and it's in our ability to bring in fresh, new retail users into the Web3 space. And when I look at that and kind of think of different ways that we can actually capitalize on that, I realize, you know what, we don't have to be a ticketing company whatsoever. Like, ticketing is just our way to expand our top funnel and bring in more users to other applications that we may build or incubate. And because of that kind of realization, I just thought of, okay, you know what are kind of a couple of like clear product market fit themes in crypto that definitely make sense. And to me, obviously one is like speculation and trading. Like, that's the reality of crypto. Most people do that. Unfortunately, 99% of people lose money. I mean, I'm barely profitable, but still, like, I would say I've definitely had periods where I lost a lot of money too. But regardless, even if people win or lose money, I recognize that everyone is just addicted to trading. However, as mentioned, we know that most people lose money. And so I just thought of a way, you know what? I recognize that there are top traders out there, like the top 0.1% of people that actually makes tens of millions of dollars, whereas everyone else loses. So how can I actually make it so that our user base can tap into and copy these top 0.1% traders? And that's kind of how the idea of copy trading first started. And I mean, we're about to release our beta for that product in about 3 weeks. And effectively, on a high level, it just allows all of our users to copy trade literally the top 100 on-chain wallets, and kind of do like perps trading, spot tradings, all powered by Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid obviously is one of the hottest kind of chain and kind of platform out there. And we also see the potential, and we want to also capitalize on that as well.
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
Interesting. And Hyperliquid is known as kind of the DEX that's more like a SEX, right? Yeah. The one that might actually replace centralized exchanges, which most people in crypto see as a good thing. Why choose them as opposed to working with other centralized exchanges on the copy trade?
So I think the number one answer is that with centralized exchanges, you always have the risk of them just taking your money. And that has happened to me with FTX. And I lost a lot of money with FTX because of that centralized party risk. I think with Hyperliquid, I mean, it's fully kind of self-custodied, so all your funds are owned by you. And I also recognize that actually they, in terms of volume, obviously as a trader, that's kind of one of the most important thing. In terms of volume, they're already at about 30 to 40% of Binance level, which is basically liquid enough for you to just actively trade in size. And then finally, I think the reason why we were kind of partnering with Hyperliquid here is because, they have built their platform such that they really welcome kind of people like us to build on top of them and actually provide kind of a mutually beneficial system for us to build applications and also kind of monetize on that. And so for us, we've evaluated all the different DEXs out there, and we realized Hyperliquid is definitely the place to go, and that's kind of why we decided to build this copy trading application on that.
Okay. Now, they recently had an issue. I think they had to delist a meme coin on there, and there was a little controversy. Do you see that as just kind of a growing pain of something that is decentralized, having to deal with kind of real world issues where sometimes there's a manipulation going on where you're going to take a big loss? Was that a positive, a net positive, that it was like a learning experience? What did you see from that? Because we all want this to work. We've all had issues with centralized exchanges, not the ones you're talking about as well. They also rip out fees we don't know about. They front run. I mean, look, I worked on Wall Street for 15 years, and these guys are just stockbrokers in disguise. There's nothing blockchain about them. They're just stockbroking digital assets. And on Wall Street, we got 100 tricks to take your money and 100 more when you figure those out. Yeah. And I try to teach my students all the things, and they're like, oh my gosh. And so I'm the first one to want to get rid of that. But there's also growing pains when you try to do that. What did you make of some of this recent news?
Yeah, so I think with all kind of new platforms, especially ones that are fully kind of decentralized and all transactions are on-chain, it's very, conducive to manipulation like that and be affected. I think it's just a reality of a platform that's on-chain. But I think with Hyperliquid specifically, they dealt with the situation quite well. And they've also then progressively made changes to how their system operates, where, their kind of validators can vote to delist kind of lower liquidity tokens to prevent that from happening. But for us, like that kind of situation was also quite eye-opening for us building that copy trading platform, because we recognize that when people copy a good trader, sometimes they don't actually want to copy every single token trade that they do. Because what if, they happen to trade something that's super illiquid or manipulated, and then as a user, you would be actually kind of screwed from that situation. And so for our platform, we've actually built in blacklists of tokens, meaning on our platform, you can actually just say, hey, I only want to trade, the top 20 tokens on Hyperliquid, and everything else, let's just blacklist it and not execute those trades. So because of that incident specifically, that helped us build in that safeguard for us to protect our users. In hindsight, I think it's good that Hyperliquid went through that, because if we had not gone through that, we wouldn't have built in this kind of blacklist idea for our platform too.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.